Guard! Halt! Two guard! On the left! Quick! March! Two guard! Halt! Truce! One guard, shift left. Elbow dressing. Elbow dressing, shift left. Ready. Ready.
Morning. We would like to welcome everyone here today, included those at home. We invite you to please rise for the singing of the national anthem by Elizabeth Irving. Parade to the front! Salute!
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Parade! Attention! Thank you, Miss Irving. Good morning. My name is Patrick Johnstone. I'm the mayor of the City of New Westminster. And on behalf of City Council, it's a privilege to welcome you to the 2025 City of New Westminster Remembrance Day ceremony. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the unceded traditional territory of the Halko-Milam-speaking Coast Salish peoples. We recognize the profound impact of colonialism, which has often obscured the rich histories and deep connections that Indigenous people have to their ancestral lands. And as a city, we are dedicated to learning and building meaningful relationships with the Indigenous communities whose territories we are honored to reside. I'd also like to pay my respects to the past and present Indigenous men, women, and Two-Spirit individuals who have served, as well as to all Canadians who have sacrificed their lives in service to our country, both in war and in peace. Now, please allow me to introduce the platform guests who are here with us today, starting with Chief Rhonda Larrabee of the Kakite First Nation. Jake Sawatsky, who is the Member of Parliament for Burnaby, New Westminster, Marrickville. Jennifer Whiteside, who is the Member of the Legislative Assembly for New Westminster, Coquitlam. We also have Tamara McCarnicle, who is representing Raj Chauhan, the Member of the Legislative Assembly for New Westminster, Burnaby. We have New Westminster City Councillors Daniel Fontaine, Tasha Henderson, Jamie McAvoy, and Paul Minhas. We have Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Clint Utley, Regimental Sergeant Major of the Royal Westminster Regiment, Dean Barron, Honorary Lieutenant Colonel of the Royal Westminster Regiment, George Salamis, Master Corporal Justin Fernandez. We have President of the Royal Westminster Regiment Association, Retired Sergeant Andrew Tafanako. And we have the President of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 2, Beverly Conley. Alongside her, former President of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 2, Retired Captain Terry Leith. Jim Blatherwick of the HMCS Discovery. Chief Aaron Williams of the New Westminster Fire Department. Poet Laureate, City of New Westminster's Poet Laureate, Janet Quammen. Special guest, Braden Tien of the 12th New Westminster Scout Group. And special guests, Michelina Cirillo and Gianna Strappa of the Girl Guides of Canada. The ceremony at the cenotaph is one of thousands occurring across the country today, each with its own local significance. Right now, there is a member of City Council attending a smaller service at Thornbridge Gardens in Uptown New Westminster for seniors who are simply unable to make the journey down here to the cenotaph, but who want to be here with us and want to come together with us in remembrance. There are also members of council attending the Remembrance Day ceremony at the Japanese-Canadian War Memorial in Stanley Park, where remembrance includes the unique impact on Canadians of Japanese descent during World War II. We gather collectively here and in those other places, but remembrance is a personal act. Each of you here today has a reason and a way to remember, and we all want to honor that. There is no wrong way to remember. As a city, we are especially honored each year to share this day with members of the regiment, formed from the serving soldiers and the Greater Regimental Association and cadets. Since its formation in 1863, originally as the New Westminster Volunteer Rifle Company No. 1, it was people from our community that joined them during the Great War and fought in places like the Somme, Vimy Ridge, Hill 70, Passchendaele, and many others. I was honored this year to be able to visit Belgium and to see many of these sites whose names we hear, these names of these places that are marked in our collective memory. I was especially humbled to see the Menine Gate in Ypres, which lists the names on it at the gates of the city of 54,000 lost soldiers of the Commonwealth. Almost 7,000 Canadian names are on that gate. Soldiers with no known grave. And every night at 8 p.m., they play The Last Post. And it has been played at that gate every night at 8 p.m. for nearly 100 years. A short ride away is the field hospital, where John McCrae wrote In Flanders Fields. Carefully preserved, as are all the World War I grave sites that dot the Belgian countryside, by the Belgian people, who have sworn to never forget the sacrifices made on their lands by young men and women from places far away, from Canada, from New Westminster, from places across the sea. They have sworn never to forget. The Royal Westminster Regiment is not only a fixture in our community's history, but it is a fixture in the history of Belgium, in the history of France, and of Italy and Holland from the Second World War, and in the history of places as far-flung as Cyprus and Yugoslavia and Afghanistan. But Remembrance Day brings this regiment and our community together with a shared pride in their service and a shared sorrow from their loss. Today, we remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice and reflect in the honor, respect, and devotion they showed to their community, to their country, and to the values of freedom and democracy. I would now like to introduce Poet Laureate for the City of New Westminster, Janet Quammen, who will recite an original poem.
Thank you. Their voices carry us forward. 80 years ago and countless beyond. 80 years ago and war yet to be gone. The dead can no longer speak, but today their silence holds us. Their voices carry us forward, their stories to be told. Lost lives setting as the sun, abandoned dreams aglow. We, the beholden, we are witness to their yesterdays, never to be forgotten. We pray, our heads bowed low, between the crosses, row on row, where the dead can no longer speak. Yet we hear them. Their haunting voices remain, their unforgettable stories bold, voices of despair, of pain, of faith, of the brave and of the mighty we testify, of the child and the childless. Forever their voices shall roar above. We listen, our hearts held heavy sigh that mark our place, and in the sky their voices must carry us forward. Today we remember the departed, the lost, the homeless, and the bereaved. We speak for the voiceless. We speak for their suffering. Together we listen and we stand by, the blood red poppy close to our heart, to the fallen. Our collective plea for peace soars high, the larks still bravely singing fly. No more war, together we do cry. The anguished specters of battle haunt our news and our minds. Today, a day of remembrance, November 11th. Together we carry each other, a united front of hopeful dreams we borrow. With honor, respect, and truth our guide, let their voices raise us up. Hallelujah. The angels above lament their sorrow, scarce heard amid the guns below. 80 years ago and countless beyond. 80 years ago and war yet to be gone.
Thank you, Janet. Remembrance Day is a time for us to come together as a community and honor our veterans, to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in conflict overseas, to assert the values of freedom and human dignity. We stand here not only in gratitude, but also in reflection, knowing that our responsibility is to carry forward that torch that was thrown from flailing hands by upholding those same values in our homes, in our lives, and in our community. This ceremony would not be possible without the invaluable support of the New Westminster Royal Canadian Legion, the Royal Westminster Regiment, and the Remembrance Day Committee. On behalf of the City of New Westminster, I extend our deepest thanks to your continued dedication to ensuring that this important day is observed with dignity, reverence, and unity in the City of New Westminster. And as we wear our poppies, we do so as a symbol of our gratitude and respect, a small but powerful reminder of the bravery and the sacrifices made for freedom. The poppy connects us across generations, linking us to those who served in the past, those who continue to serve today, and those who will answer the call in the future. It's a symbol of a promise that we will not forget. We will not take their sacrifices for granted. You may have noticed a cedar wreath that has already been placed at the cenotaph. I was present to represent New Westminster at the laying of a similar wreath at the cenotaph in Vancouver on November 8th, as the region collectively gathered to mark National Aboriginal Veterans Day. This wreath honors the Indigenous veterans whose courage and service were, for too long, overlooked and not acknowledged. This year also marks the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. Victory over European fascism was achieved on May 8th, 1945, and Canada then supported our naval allies in Asia and the Pacific. More than 10,000 Canadians contributed on land and in the air and at sea in various theaters of that region. After a grueling 6 years of war on August 15th, now known as VJ Day, the end of war in the Pacific marked the official end of the Second World War. Through war, we have lost so many Canadians, each a life, a story of love, of hope, and courage. And from their sacrifices, we have gained not only tales of bravery, but also understanding of what it means to be Canadian, to serve a cause greater than oneself, and to protect the freedoms of future generations. It's our solemn duty, not just today, but every day, to remember those who volunteered, who sacrificed, and who fought for the peace that surrounds us. Today's ceremony is more than tradition. It is an act of gratitude, a moment of unity, and a reminder of the strength that comes when we stand together as a community in remembrance. So on behalf of the City of New Westminster, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all Canadians who have served, to those who currently serving in the Canadian Armed Forces, and to the families whose quiet strength and resilience support them every step in the way. As we bow our heads for the moment of silence, I invite you to reflect on the meaning of remembrance, not only as an act of history, but as a promise to our collective future. We will never forget, and we will remember you. I would now like to introduce Braden Tien from the 12th New Westminster Scout Group, who will recite In Flanders Fields.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly. Scars heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, but now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thank you, Braden. We are pleased to have Master Corporal Justin Fernandez join us today. Master Corporal Fernandez joined the Royal Westminster Regiment in 2020 and became fully qualified the following year. In 2023, he served as the patrol commander for the Westies Cambrian Patrol Team, leading them to a silver medal. He recently deployed to Latvia in Operation Reassurance Roto 2501 with Wrangler Company, Task Force Warhorse. Master Corporal Fernandez is currently employed as a brigade training instructor with 39 Canadian Brigade Group Headquarters and serves as a section commander within Alpha Company, Royal Westminster Regiment. I'd like to invite Master Corporal Fernandez to the podium to give this year's memorial address.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to stand here today as a member of the Royal Westminster Regiment, the Westies, a regiment that has proudly called New Westminster home since 1863. Each year on this day, we come together as a community, veterans, serving members, families, and citizens, to pause, to reflect, and to remember. We remember those who stood where we stand now, those who wore this uniform before us, and those who never came home. At the 11th hour of the 11th day, the 11th month, time stands still. For one brief moment, we set aside everything else to honor the men and women who gave their lives so that we could live free. During the First World War, more than 600,000 Canadians served. Over 66,000 were killed and 172,000 were wounded. Among them were the men of the 104th Regiment, Westminster Fusiliers of Canada, the unit that would become our own Royal Westminster Regiment. They volunteered right here in this city and went on to fight overseas with the 47th Battalion of the Canadian Expeditionary Force. They served courageously at Vimy Ridge, Passchendaele, and the Somme, some of the most brutal battles in our nation's history. Many never returned home to New Westminster, but their names live on in our regimental history and on memorials across Europe. Just a generation later, during the Second World War, over 1 million Canadians served. More than 45,000 were killed and 55,000 were wounded. Once again, the Westies answered the call. In 1940, soldiers from our regiment deployed overseas, fighting through the Italian campaign, at Ortona, the Leary Valley, and the Gothic Line, before moving north to help liberate the Netherlands. Those men carried the pride of New Westminster with them. Their courage helped free millions, and their sacrifice built the peace that we enjoy today. Among those who gave everything were men whose names we remember with pride. From the First World War, Corporal Henry Morris was killed during the battle for Vimy Ridge in June 1917, one of many Westies who never made it home. In the Second World War, Lieutenant Gordon Laidlaw was killed in Italy in 1944 from wounds sustained during the attack on Coriano Ridge. In more recent years, Master Corporal Colin Basin was killed in Afghanistan in 2007 when his armored vehicle ran over a roadside bomb outside of Kandahar City. 5 years ago, Corporal James Troy tragically lost his life during a training exercise in Wainwright, Alberta, right here at home. Each served with courage, duty, and devotion, true to the regimental motto, for king and country. Their memory endures in the regiment they helped to build. Right now, Canadian soldiers, sailors, and aviators are serving around the world, training Ukrainian troops in Europe, supporting peace and security in the Middle East, and standing alongside our NATO allies in Latvia. Canadian Forces members are also providing humanitarian aid, disaster relief, and search and rescue, both abroad and here at home. From fighting wildfires in British Columbia to helping communities rebuild after floods and storms across our country. Service has never been confined to the battlefield. It lives in the quiet professionalism of Canadians who continue to put themselves in harm's way for the safety and stability of others. To the veterans here with us today, those who have worn the uniform, served overseas, and carried the weight of duty before us, we honor you. Your courage, sacrifice, and wisdom continue to guide us. You remind us that service does not end when one leaves the battlefield. It lives on in your stories, in your example, and in the enduring bonds of those who have served. Thank you for standing with us, for teaching us, and for showing us the meaning of commitment to king, country, and community. And that same spirit lives here in New Westminster, in the soldiers of the Royal Westminster Regiment, who train, serve, and stand ready when their community or their country calls. To all members of the regiment, every soldier, officer, and leader here today, I want to take a moment to speak directly to you. Thank you. You've chosen to serve at a time when peace can be easily taken for granted. You train in the cold, the rain, and the dark, often while juggling school, work, and family. You serve because you believe that wearing this uniform still means something, that duty, loyalty, integrity, and courage continue to matter, in every action, every mission, and every moment of service. When you wear the Westie cap badge, you carry the legacy of those who fought at Vimy, Ortona, and Kandahar. You are part of a living chain of service that stretches from the dusty plains of South Africa during the Boer War to the muddy trenches of the First World War, the sun-scorched ridges and rugged hills of Italy in the Second World War, the tense streets of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the arid deserts and rocky passages of Afghanistan, and the missions we support across the globe today. To the families, the parents, partners, and friends who support our soldiers, thank you as well. Your strength behind the scenes makes our service possible. Today, as we gather at the cenotaph, surrounded by the echoes of our history, we're reminded that remembrance is more than a moment of silence. It's a promise to live in a way that honors those who never came home and those who still serve in their name. The names engraved in stone around this city are not just names. They are stories of courage, of sacrifice, and of hope. It is our duty to keep those stories alive and to ensure that the next generation understands what they mean. So as the last post sounds and the city falls silent, let us remember, not just with silence, but with purpose. Let us honor the past, support those who serve today, because remembrance is not a single day on the calendar. It's a lifelong commitment to gratitude, service, and peace. Lest we forget.
Thank you, Master Corporal Fernandez.
Right. First. One guard. Read that. Arm. Shoulder. Arm. Guard. Three paces. Left. Arm. Left. Turn. One guard. One right. Quick. Arm. Three set. Arm. Right under arm. Reverse.
We'll now have the Royal Westminster Regiment bugler pay the last post, after which we will observe 2 minutes of silence. Stand is stand easy. I'd now like to invite retired Captain Terry Leith, former president of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 2, to read the Act of Remembrance.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
Thank you, Captain Leith. I would now like to invite Michelina Cirillo and Gianna Strappa of the Second New Westminster Girl Guides to recite Commitment to Remember.
They were young as we were young. They served, giving freely of themselves. To them, we pledge, amid the winds of time, to carry the torch and never forget. We will remember them.
We will now be proceeding to the cenotaph for the wreath-laying portion of the program. We are now going to begin the wreath-laying ceremony. The wreath ceremony will begin with our platform guests laying wreaths, and I will then read the full honor roll. First wreath will be laid by Chief Rhonda Larrabee of the Kakite First Nation. In the Government of Canada, Member of Parliament Jake Sawatsky. Member of the Legislative Assembly Jennifer Whiteside. Member of the Legislative Assembly Raj Chauhan. Tamara McCorkindale. And MLA, Member of the Legislative Assembly Steve Cooner from Richmond, Queensborough. Representing Mayor and Council of the City of New Westminster, Councillor Jamie McAvoy. Councillor Daniel Fontaine and the New West Progressives. Councillor Ruby Campbell. HMCS Discovery, Jim Blatherwick. The Royal Westminster Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Utley and Chief Warrant Officer Barron. Royal Canadian Legion Branch 2, Bev Conley and Terry Leith. Royal Westminster Regiment Association, Sergeant Andrew Trafanenko. Imperial Veterans Corps of BC and Ladies Auxiliary. The New Westminster Police Department, Chief Paul Hyland. The Metro Vancouver Transit Police, Chief Suzanne Muir. And New Westminster Fire and Rescue Services, Chief Aaron Williams. The Navy League of Canada, New Westminster. The Royal Canadian Sea Cadets Corps, Fraser. The Navy League Cadet Corps, J.F. Williams. The Royal Westminster Regiment Cadet Corps, 2316. The Royal Canadian Air Cadets, number 513, Hornet Squadron. St. John Ambulance, Division 1304, Ambulance Cadet. The Fraser Alumni Association. The Canadian Women Army Corps, Bill Black. Canadian Forces Recruiting Center, Pacific. Former Member of Parliament, Peter Julian. Mr. Indy Panchi of the Conservative Party of Canada. The British Columbia Federation of Labour. Canadian Union of Public Employees, Local 387, City of New Westminster. And CUPE Local 409, New Westminster Schools. The Douglas College Faculty Association. The Health Sciences Association of British Columbia. The International Association of Firefighters, Local 256. The International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 115. The New Westminster and District Labour Council. The New Westminster Teachers Union. United Steelworkers, Local 2009. Honor House Society. New Westminster Firefighters Charitable Society. The Royal Columbian Hospital Foundation. Fraternal Order of Eagles and Ladies Auxiliary, Area number 20. Lewis Lodge 57, AF and AM, BC, Yukon. Perfection Lodge number 57. Union Solomon Lodge number 9, the Freemasons of New Westminster. Douglas College. New Westminster Schools. Job's Daughters, Bethel number 2. Knights of Columbus, New Westminster, Council 1283. The Order of St. George, Cascadia. Kearney Funeral Services. Royal City Jewelers, the New Westminster Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club of New Westminster, Royal City, and the Rotary Club of New Westminster. Century House Association, Heritage New West, the Hayek Festival Association, Kathleen Carlson Dancers Society, Kinsman Club of New Westminster, Massey Victory Heights Residents Association, Municipal Pension Retirees Association, District 16, New Westminster Retired Teachers Association, and the North Fraser Métis Association. The Royal City Curling Club, Saberton Old Age Pensioners Association, Holy Trinity Anglican Cathedral, Mount Calvary Lutheran Church, New Westminster Christian Reformed Church, Shiloh Fifth Avenue Church, St. Mary's the Virgin Anglican Church Saperton, St. Peter's Catholic Women's League, the Salvation Army, the Ukrainian Catholic Eparchy of New Westminster, and wreaths laid in loving memory for World War I Army Corps, Percy William Eyre, Myrtle Black, Robert Black, Noel Freshwater, Mary Hokinson, Jean Olson, and William Rennie. Flight Sergeant William T. Borelman, John Oscar Clifford Carlson, Royal Canadian Air Force Flight Lieutenant Everett E. Ettinger, RAF Warrant Officer Rear Gunner William Henry Grout, Guardsman Elvin G.W. Sims, Flight Lieutenant Forster Wardle, William Arthur Wilshire, and Flight Lieutenant John Homer Tetro. I'd like to thank everybody that contributed to the wreath ceremony today. And I would please ask you to now stand and join Elizabeth Irving in the singing of God Save the King, accompanied by the Royal Westminster Regiment Band.
One guard. Thanks. Arm.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.
Shoulder. Arm. Attack! Shut!
I'd like to thank everybody for attending our 2025 Remembrance Day service. I'd also invite you now to turn your eyes towards Royal Avenue and observe the March Past, which will be closing today's service.
Oh, she went out. Two guard. Present arms. Shoulder arms. One pace forward. March. Left turn. Guard. Before my quick. March. Attention. One pace forward. March. That's right.